This episode sponsored by Stan Shoes. Does your body hurt more than it used to after a long day? You're not getting old. You're not out of shape. You're just absorbing too much impact. Every step on hard floors adds up, and eventually your feet, knees, or back start calling the shots. That's not age. That's physics. Most shoes aren't built to handle a full day of impact. Until now. Stand Plus Energy Recovery Footwear is engineered to dissipate shock and reduce stress on joints. Their dual-density system gives you cushioning where you need relief and structure where it matters. They're accepted by the American Podiatric Medical Association, HSA and FSA eligible, and worn by over 100,000 people who feel the difference every day. If recovery is becoming the limiter, it's time to change that. Go to stanshoes.com and experience real relief in every step.
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a real-life medium? Then this is the podcast for you. In this show, you'll learn how to open your heart to spirit, hear adventures I've experienced as an award-winning psychic medium and teacher. Plus, I'm going to give you some psychic information and insight into what the future holds for our increasingly crazy world. Tune in every Friday and get ready to connect to the other side. I'm Jen, and I'll be your guide starting right now. Welcome back to the podcast, Singing Meeting Podcast. I'm going to get the business right out of the way in the first couple of minutes because there is so much happening this summer. It's so funny. As you guys know, I used to teach kindergarten and I used to love looking forward to summer break. And as a business owner, I'm like this year, so back a while ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to book myself off the summer this year because I don't usually do that. And so I went to my calendar. By the way, I'm not good with that thing. So I have like 3 calendars and overbook myself sometimes. Anyways, we'll talk about that in a minute. So I always had the summer off. So I'm like, I'm going to book this summer off. And yeah, now things have taken a turn. There was a surprise opportunity that presented itself to me, which I love because I know that's spirit led. So I'm going to be teaching some in-person classes, as I have mentioned earlier. But this summer, there are so many classes being held at my local store called Moonflowers in Beaverton, Ontario. I'm going to be teaching some classes in there. There's going to be some changes with Spirit School, and some of them are going to be in person as well. You have an opportunity to do that, so online and in-person classes. So I'm going to share some of the summer things that are coming up for you, and then we'll get right into the juicy stuff of what we're going to talk about today. So this Sunday, July 9th, which would be like in like 2 days, and you guys are listening to this podcast episode, Charlene is doing an Oracle card workshop in person. So if you're interested in learning how to use your Oracle cards properly and how to enhance your intuition, deliver messages, learn how to choose your Oracle deck, clear your cards, and do the readings, come on out and sign up for that. You can go and DM moonflowers.moon.mystic and go and find out what is happening. Oh my goodness. You know what's funny about that song? So I was just scrolling the page so I can tell you all the details. That song, ironically, is a song that I play when I do my group events, my mediumship group demonstrations. And speaking of that, I have one on July 8th from 11 to 1. And that is also in person at Moonflower Store. So that's super exciting. I haven't done an in-person group event in a long time. You can get your tickets through moonflowers.moon.mystic, or you can message me on elevate.hersoul on Instagram and I'll set you up. Then every other Tuesday evening in July from 7 to 8, I'm teaching an intuition development circle. And then every other Thursday from 10 to 11 in the morning, I'm also going to be doing this. Not to like scroll all the way down because I'm like, what else am I doing? So there's lots happening. I'm trying to think of what else I'm doing there. Oh, there's going to be a kids, hasn't been posted yet, but there's going to be a children's workshop, which is humongous, which I'm very excited about because I think I've talked about before. The kids are coming online. So if you have a kid, listen to me, if you have a kid, if you have children in your life or they're your own children and you're finding that they're very oversensitive, overstimulated, having a hard time, this could mean that they're actually very sensitive to spirit and their gifts are coming awakened. They're becoming awakened. So we want to work on that. We want to help them learn how to clear their energy, do fun games and show them that they're very powerful and they have very powerful superpowers. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to stop there because I know there's too much to think about. There's a lot going on. So I'm not taking the summer off. Maybe a little bit in August. We'll see how that goes. But everything, it's just very busy and I'm loving it. So updates as well. If you have ordered a summer psychic forecast, which is the PDF email for $99 in the past, I promise I'm going to try as hard as I can to get you by July 1st. I overdid it. Had 27 to 30, I believe, people signed up for that, and I'm working my way. I'm almost halfway through, so thank you so much for your patience. It will be there as soon as I can get that done for you. And yeah, I feel this is a pattern with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a break. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm going to fill my life with more things. But they're things that I love, right? So that's really important that you do take a break at some point and not always be so busy and fill your calendar with things, right? It's very important that we take lots of breaks. So let's talk about what is happening in the world of spirit. I hope you listened to or had a chance to listen to the last 2 episodes that I shared because they were recorded in succession. And I believe the last episode was called The Death Train and talked about what happens when you pass. So the transitions. And, I think I talked about the vision that I had of this death train and so interesting what's going on there. And then the one before that, I believe there were some predictions in there about what's coming in the world. And speaking of what's coming in the world, whoa, guys, so I know I have a nap pretty much every day when I can. And today I woke up from my nap and was so heavy. I know you understand and feel the same situation in your chest. So it's like an anxiety, but also like a hollow concave feeling and also like a feeling of dread in your chest. So kind of anxiety, but kind of not. And that's one of your abilities is as a sensitive, you have this knowing or a feeling that something weird or something is off or something is, crazy is about to happen, so that's just part of the experience and the journey when you learn to open up your beautiful gifts, right? There's a lot that goes on. Some people just think that, for me, example, 8 years ago, when I'm like, oh, there's a psychic development class. What is this? I'm going to go take this because I was so drawn to it. And you think you're just signing up for a psychic development class. And then you get in there and it's wonderful. You're like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. I had no idea I had these gifts. And then you go into a mediumship class. You're like, wow, I didn't know I had these gifts either. And you surprise yourself. You're like, I can do this. I can talk to the dead. I can help people heal. I can do these wonderful things. And then the more you work on it, the more you develop it, the stronger your awareness becomes. And now now you have to learn how to manage it. Now you learn how to manage your energy and you have to manage your emotions more. With mediumship, you have to, your heart just automatically opens up so wide that you all of a sudden now you're crying all the time and you're remembering things that you had forgotten about from your childhood and maybe 8 years ago when that person and you had that interaction and you're just, it's kind of like an excavator. It's kind of like when you develop your gifts, it's kind of like an excavation that occurs organically and naturally. So it's not just studying the terminology or, learning the techniques to become a medium or, what your clairs. There's so many layers to this that I want you to know what you're getting into, right? So when you're signing up for my School of Psychic and Mediumship Studies, I want you to know what you're getting into, right? So you think that you're signing up for my school. And once you get in there, as soon as you pay your tuition, Spirit starts working with you even more intensely. And so you'll start to notice things in your life shifting a lot as soon as you say yes. This is just how my school works. And you have to know that you're going to be whoa, getting to know yourself on this whole other level that you didn't even think was possible. And you're going to know things that you didn't think were possible, and you're going to see things that you didn't think were possible, and you're just going to have so many feelings that everything that's like an excavation. It's a beautiful, messy excavation. So if you're having this feeling like, I feel like there's more to my life than just making chicken nuggets and like having dirt on my shirt because my kids are messy and vacuuming all day, I'm telling you there is more, because I've been there a million times. And if it wasn't for the school that I used to go to, so the school that I went to was called School of Miracles, and it's in Caledon, Ontario. So I went to a school. Once I was like, okay, I feel like very strongly this crazy feeling inside of me. Like you might have the thought that you think you're crazy, you're going crazy, you're hearing voices. I'm telling you, you're not going crazy. You got to follow the voice, especially only if it's a good voice, by the way. Don't follow the negative, scary voices. Only the ones that are like positive and like are lovey-dovey feelings. And then my voice is like, you need to start taking class at the School of Miracles. And I was like, what the heck is School of Miracles? Just like you're probably thinking, what the heck is Spirit School? What the heck is Jen's School of Psychic and Mediumship Studies all about, right? So that feeling where you feel like you're at a point where you're like, I don't know what the heck is going on, but I feel like I can't ignore it anymore, right? It's kind of like if you ignore the news or you ignore what's happening in the world, it's going to make you very, very uncomfortable. You think that you're being passive and shoving it down, and I don't want to know anything going on in the world. Whereas I'm like, I want to know everything that's going on in the world. Plus I have psychic visions and I time travel and all this stuff. So I know more, right? But I want to know. I would rather have my awareness like just out there, like I want to say the millennium, in the space-time continuum. I want to know things, even though it makes me upset. And yes, I do get anxiety. I would rather know than not know. Because the feeling when you don't know, you say, I don't want to know, when you're resisting this information or the awareness of what's coming in the world, you resist everything. So you push away. So when you're pushing away the knowledge, or you don't want to know what's going on in the world because it's quote unquote too scary for you, or 3 years ago you yell at me because I told you there's going to be a new world order, and you're so afraid of that you yell at me and take it out on me and stop being my friend, right? That's not the way we need to do things. We need to face things head on. And so when you resist something, or you shy away, or you ignore something, it just gets bigger. So you'll start to feel impulses and physical uncomfortable feelings in your body, such as anxiety, or you'll start getting a stomach ache, and you don't like, it's just going to affect your body. So it's very important that you learn properly and help with a mentor to help you navigate these energies. Like we spend like the first 45 minutes at every of my classes, which are ending this week, by the way, and all of my classes talking about how people are feeling and how things are going, because I want to make sure that I know my students are okay and I help them through everything that I can, right? If I can help you and I know the answer, I will help you. And the good thing is that I have been through a lot of things in my spiritual journey and my development. So I have like a repertoire kind of thing. I can't answer a question I have no knowledge about. I'm not going to pretend to know everything. I'm just going to, like, my experience is very valuable, just like your experience in your life is very valuable when you can help someone else because you have a reference to something, right? So there's that. And I not that I'm struggling with what I should talk about today, but I feel like I have to talk about like just doing it, like just not doing it, but like just like you got to do something. I think you're putting things off. I'm talking to you. You're putting it off. You have this very strong urge and soul pull and feeling like I feel like I need to do this really important thing. Whether that's like I need to take Jen's school, or I need to like take a class, I need to get a mentor, I need to start meditating, I need to go for walks more, I need to go, like, I'm telling you, you got to stop putting it off right now. Stop putting it off and just get your ass in gear and just decide that you're going to expand. You're going to follow those soul nudges, because that is your higher self, and literally your soul is telling you what to do, and when you ignore it, it just gets very painful. So the way to clear all of this painfulness is you just do something different. You do what you feel that you're called to do, right? So, and in that experience, your heart opens. And so I want to talk about something that is going to help open your heart. All right. So I'm not sure if I've ever talked about my trip to Peru, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up right now. It's not to yak about myself. It's to share an experience with you because I want to help you. I went to Peru a few years ago. Actually, it was like 2019. I think you've heard the story. 2019, No, sorry, 2020 I went to Peru. Ugh. January 2020, I had an opportunity to go to Peru. That was one of those hell yes spirit, like, oh my God, you're going on this trip. And there was nothing that was going to stop me. Nothing was going to stop me. I actually didn't even have the money for this trip. And I was just sitting on the back deck at my old house in Orangeville, scrolling on my laptop, on Facebook, minding my own business. And this thing popped up. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? And I'm like, I have to go there. And I yelled at Chad. I remember yelling at Chad. He was inside with the screen door. And I'm like, I'm going to Peru. He's like, okay, bye. I'll drive to the airport. Like, there was no way that I was not going to do this. This is the kind of thing that you know you have to do. And you will find a way to do this. I didn't actually have the money to do this. I can't remember how much it was. Maybe $2,500, something like this. Anyways, I manifested the money. I went. And it was a cacao retreat. So we'll get into that in a second. So I went, we would tour these factories of chocolate on different lands, different kind of areas of Peru. We're in Tarapoto, and we went around on a little tour van and visited kind of factories, how you make cacao, and they showed us the cacao beans and the process of it and all these kind of things. And obviously we had ceremonies where we would drink this cacao. So cacao is a beautiful plant. It's not non-psychedelic plant. So it's a cacao bean, and you make this you crush the beautiful powder, and they make very high quality chocolate. You can make tea from it. You can make cacao powder so that you can make a beautiful ceremonial drink. And so we had this, and I will tell you, like, it doesn't taste great. Like, people are like, how can I make this taste really good? You can't. It's not something that you want to, it's not something that you want to make it taste really good. So you're like Kool-Aid, so you're drinking it all the time. It's like the purpose of this plant is to, how can chocolate open your heart? Well, dude, I love chocolate, first of all, right? So cacao, with this beautiful recipe and ceremonial aspect to it, you can really open up your heart, right? And opening up your heart, as you know, so if you want to become a medium or you want to help people, your heart needs to be open, right? So a couple of things about cacao that you might want to know. Cacao powder is the purest form of chocolate you can consume, and it's raw and it's less processed than cocoa powder or chocolate bars. Okay, so you can have it in different formats. So for me, I actually have had multiple times the actual cacao drink where you make.
This episode sponsored by Stan Shoes. Does your body hurt more than it used to after a long day? You're not getting old. You're not out of shape. You're just absorbing too much impact. Every step on hard floors adds up, and eventually your feet, knees, or back start calling the shots. That's not age, that's physics. Most shoes aren't built to handle a full day of impact, until now. Stand Plus Energy Recovery Footwear is engineered to dissipate shock and reduce stress on joints. Their dual-density system gives you cushioning where you need relief and structure where it matters. They're accepted by the American Podiatric Medical Association, HSA and FSA eligible, and worn by over 100,000 people who feel the difference every day. If recovery is becoming the limiter, it's time to change that. Go to stanshoes.com and experience real relief in every step.
Do you love rom-coms? Do you wish you could talk about Christmas movies year-round? Then we have the perfect podcast for you, Hallmarkies Podcast. Throughout the year, we cover all things romance, holiday, and Hallmark, including recaps of every Hallmark show, like When Calls the Heart and The Way Home. You can also get loads of bonus content covering shows like Bridgerton, Sweet Magnolias, and Just Like That. We are an all-female group of friends who are passionate for these shows and movies and give our honest opinions as well as gush over what we love so much. But that's not all. Every Monday, there are interviews with all your favorite actors, writers, directors, and more. Check out Hallmarkies Podcast on all your podcast providers and on YouTube. That's Hallmarkies Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
Various spices, and you mix it with coconut water or coconut milk, and you make it on the stove, and you have to be very intentional with what you're doing, and you're putting love into this big pot, and then you share it with like-hearted souls or with yourself. You can have it instead of your coffee, you can drink it in the morning. But the key to this is with any kind of plant consciousness, again, non-psychedelic. This has no psychedelics in it at all. It's literally chocolate. The purest form of chocolate, and you just sit there intentionally and you drink it. So it's a mindful drink. So what you would do is get a recipe, and I'm going to put a link in the show notes where you can get the best cacao there is. So you can order tea. That's what I prefer. But like for the highest benefits, you want to do the cacao drink itself and like mix it with the powder and stir it on the stove and make it very intentional. And you have to mix some ingredients together. Maybe I'll post a recipe that you can look at and share. So again, I'm like a tea drinker, so I'm like, I'll drink the tea because it tastes as yucky as the other stuff. But again, highest format would be to drink the ceremonial cacao. Okay, so you sit mindfully with it. You take a deep breath. I'm pretending I have cacao right now. And you hold it in your hand so it's hot, and you feel the cup in your hands. You would use a special cup if you have one. And you sit there and you just give thanks and appreciation and gratitude to the plant and for the time, and you pause for the present moment and you give thanks for that as well. Sometimes I'll just connect to spirit, to my own soul, and really be present. That is the biggest thing about this. And then you can set an intention. So an intention is like, what would you like to learn? What would you like to understand? Maybe about yourself. So cacao, again, is if it's a plant medicine, it's a plant consciousness, that means it's highly intelligent. Okay? So the highest intelligence through this cacao seed, the bean, through the plant consciousness can help you understand yourself, help you uncover wisdom, about things you want to know, kind of things, kind of like spirit in a cup, only better. So you set an intention, like I would like to know myself better. Okay, so you would drink this for a few days in a row, maybe a couple weeks. You would do it in succession, ideally. And then over time, you'll start to feel like whenever I drink cacao, maybe it's the spices. I'm just kidding. It's not the spices. Whenever I consume cacao, ceremonial cacao, my heart is like you can just feel like a pulling. It's not like having a heart attack or like anxiety or heart palpitations. It's just this beautiful, you can actually feel your heart opening. And that's what we want, right? We want our hearts open because there's so many of us walking around angry and resentful and judgmental and all these kind of things for whatever reason. And we're hanging on to so much shit. Well, this will help you open your heart and expand your awareness, right? So like, why wouldn't you? So, and also it's really good to do it in ceremonial with other people. So have you ever gone to a cacao? If you can find a cacao ceremony, go to a cacao ceremony. Shaman Sisters in Mississauga actually has the best that I've been to, the most memorable cacao ceremony circle I've been to, where she incorporates this breath work, this unbelievable breath work after you drink the cacao. Like it's just, actually that's where I saw, that was before, I think that might have been 2018 or 2019 when the last time I was able to go there. And I had seen the future of me in Peru, but I didn't know I was in Peru. So in that ceremony in 2018, I saw myself following a guy with a machete in this big field. I'm like, what's going on here? But I could see the whole, and again, it's not psychoactive. It's probably more the breath work too, and the highest intelligence showing me, like I probably said, what do I need to know? And showed me like this man with a machete and these little kids running around. I was like, well, I don't know what this is. I remember writing it down because I got to remember this is cool stuff. And then like 2 years later, it happened. Like I went to Peru and the guy with the machete was there, and like it was like, what? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's going to open up your psychic abilities, but it will assist you on your spiritual development journey for sure, and your personal level. Like it's just hard to explain unless you experience it, right? So to me, cacao adds so much to your spiritual practice. It's kind of like a practice that you would incorporate in your life. You sit with it, you talk with it, so you drink it, and then you can journal after, and you go meditate, go about your day, and then throughout the days, this consciousness, this intelligence starts working through you, through your heart, and helps you immensely, right? So again, I feel like I need to say it's not mushrooms, guys. It's not psychoactive. You won't feel cuckoo or weird in the head, anything like that. It's just it's like a beautiful, how do I describe it? Like this beautiful feeling that you're just calm. It's like a blanket wraps around you kind of thing energetically, and you just feel very supported and very loved and very connected to the divine energies. And that's, I don't know a lot about it, but like from my experience, I'm like, I feel like it's really something that needs to come into people's lives so that we know that we are okay. We do know that there is love, and it's not always negative Nelly things like what's going to happen. Oh my God, we're not going to have any food, and like we're not having gas, no toilet paper, right? It's if we can have these practices, incorporate them to our lives now, we'll be able to navigate the future much more easier and more pleasant, and have a beautiful, knowledge that we are always okay, right? So there's that. And I'm trying to think of like another ceremony that I did in Peru was so cool. Like we did one, I can't remember, like maybe a couple of days in before we walked through the jungle. And I remember in that ceremony too, it was like there was some weird things happening in that room, but like there was this other woman who had come in from outside of our retreat center, from another retreat center, and she came in and there was like, I don't know, man, it's like she knew some dark stuff. Like she had some shadow stuff in there, some dark stuff was coming out of her, and I could see the whole, like these, almost like, how to explain it, the vision I had above the room in this ceremony was like a goddess statue, but like looser, and they were flying around in the air, and like it was just really freaky. Again, nothing was in it. And then the first time I tried it was the first night we got off the airplane and we went to the retreat center and we had to cross this rickety bridge. I was like, oh my God, my nerves are shot. And the first night we did this, when we got there, I remember, again, there's nothing in the drink. It's just cacao. I was sitting with a group of people, and we had a yogi there, and no English, just Spanish, just doesn't speak any English at all, right? So we had a translator with us, and I had a vision of this person. Like I think he was sitting beside me on the pillow, or maybe we were lying down. I can't remember. After we had drank the cacao, and I had the vision of this yogi guy coming to me and giving me a hug, but he was wearing this really big bright orange shirt. Now he wasn't wearing the shirt that night that we first met, right? So that's fine, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, we're sharing, and I didn't say anything, and I'm like, okay, whatever. The next day we get up for breakfast, Yogi comes down in a bright orange shirt, right? So it's just a connector of consciousness, I feel like. It's a connector of dots. And so it was so cool. Like this whole Peru experience was amazing, and I do hope to get back there again, because that was one of my most memorable and favorite trips, right? Like it was right before the pandemic, and like I knew something was coming, but I didn't know what, and that's where I felt Gaia under my feet being so upset, and I didn't understand why the earth was so upset, because if you're in the middle of the jungle, you're going to be very connected to Gaia. Like there's no phones, I had nothing. It was like back to the jungle, and you're like, whoa, like I could hear the jungle was talking to me, the jungle trees were talking to me, and like the animals were talking to me. We crossed like 40 creeks where you could almost die. Like, you know what I mean? Every trip I've gone on, I've almost died. Like every trip I've almost died. So that trip, did I almost die twice? Yeah, I think I told the story before, maybe. Like, so one of the days when we went on a cacao tour to this land, another part, like maybe 2 hours away from Tarapoto, we met these women who had gone through unspeakable, horrific things in the past, where like men would come and murder all the women and like crazy things like that. I didn't know that at the time. So I'm like, hey, I'm just coming to like have a tour of cacao plants and trees. And it was so hot that day. But we went into this one place to go taste the cacao, or different kinds of cacao, and you could buy from these women. I remember like getting in there and I'm like, I don't feel so good. Like, and I was like drinking so much water. Like they had a jug there, thank goodness, a freezing, and I had a reusable water jug. I was drinking so much water. I'm like, I don't feel so good here. I didn't pick up on the land energy at all. I was just not feeling well. And as the hours went on this cacao tour, I'm like, I've got worse and worse and worse. And the women were singing chocolate songs in Spanish and clapping and having a great time. Like you would not be able to tell these women had gone through unspeakable, horrible things by these men in their town. And so after a while, I'm like, and then we went. Did we go to another place where we were gonna make pottery or something like this? And I'm like, I can't do this. So there was a rental car there. A driver had a rental car somehow. I don't know why, because we went in a bus or like a van. Somehow there was a rental car there with air conditioning running, and the driver of the van said, come and sit in the air conditioner car for a bit. So I went in the back seat. He's like, no, go in the front seat. I'm like, okay. So I go in the front seat. He tried to lay the chair back down. After about 2 minutes of me being in this air conditioned car, the car broke down, sitting in park. probably because I was in there and the energy was so crazy that I literally broke the car. The car didn't work. You couldn't turn the car back on. The battery was dead. It hadn't been running for very long, but the energy was so powerful that like I killed the car and I felt so bad. I didn't touch any buttons. I don't know what's going on. So they had to run around and figure out how they were gonna, like they were bringing everybody wet washcloths and things like this and popsicles and water, and it was so hot, like so hot. And so they had to figure, I felt so bad because they had to figure out how we're going to get home or get to this next place that we were going. So then we get going in the van and they're figuring that out. And we end up this side of the road restaurant, like really sketchy side of the road restaurant. I'm like, I am not eating here. Like, you know, those feelings where you just don't eat here. And the bathroom is like in the ground and then you can wash your hands in this big barrel of water. Like there's nothing, like it's nothing. So I felt sick, so sick. I couldn't eat anything. So this happened to be this hammock in this restaurant. Like there's no walls in this restaurant. It's just like the side of the road thing. So I was put in this hammock and I'm like, I need to go to sleep. And then someone's trying to give me Reiki or trying to heal me and like get me better. But I just felt so bad. I remember one of my tour friends was like, you need to drink salt water. And I'm like, I will puke this up if you give me. She kept trying to feed it to me. And I'm like, I'm not drinking this salt water. So then at some point, people were like, we got to take Jen back to the resort because she can't go on our tour anymore. So we're driving home in this pickup truck. This pickup truck just appeared out of nowhere. So the yogi guy with the orange shirt and the driver, one of the drivers, put me in this truck and I was so out of it. I'm like, let's just go. I feel so sick. Just take me home. I'm going to die. Like, I don't want to die in Peru. Okay. I just don't want to die in Peru. And as we're driving around these like big rock walls, like massive rock walls where like falling boulders are coming down, like raining, like nothing. And so we're driving along and then all of a sudden this big boulder, like I swear if it had been like 0.1 second less of a drive speeding in the speedometer, I'd be dead because this massive boulder fell from the sky and banged so hard on the top of the roof of this truck right above my head. And then all I remember is like, almost died. And then like, because it had been if it had been a little bit ahead, like it would have been broken the windshield and like killed me instantly. And I remember going, oh my God. And the yogi in the back was trying to sleep because it was like a 3-hour drive back. He's like, karma, karma, karma. And I'm like, what? Like, what karma do I have where I should die in Peru? Right? So like, it was just this crazy experience. So like, just this magical, I mean, it sounds like it's terrible. Honestly, it was like, and then when we were leaving, I think I might have told the story before. We were in this, I think I told this a couple episodes ago, but the gorilla and the shooting outside of this Lima mall. Like, so, I mean, it sounds like, you know, everywhere I go, I feel like something crazy happens to me, which is awesome. So it's like an adventure and you get excited, right? So I just feel like this intelligence just knew what to do, what to show me and kept me safe. And I just went with it, right? So I'm not saying Cacao's going to save your life or anything, but it is like a beautiful tool that you can use to help you on your journey. Sometimes we need some help. We need some gentle, loving, supportive intelligence weaving through our body and helping us on our journey. So I'm going to put in the show notes where you can get the highest quality cacao, ceremonial cacao, or the tea. I'm going to put in the show notes. I want you to go look and see if you feel called to do it, because with every plant consciousness, it will call you, right? So it's not something we want to force. We don't go, oh, Jen said I should buy cacao, so I better go buy cacao. No, I want you to learn the difference between someone telling you to do something and you're like, okay, well, I don't really feel like doing that, but I'm going to do it anyways because Jen said. I want you to know the difference between that, a human decision, and then I want you to go to the spirit soul decision. I want you to be like, okay, I feel very drawn to this. I don't know why. I feel very called to this plant. It's calling me, it's singing me a beautiful song, and I want to go to it. And I want to incorporate this into my life, and I want to have heart expansion. I want to love more. I want to love unconditionally. I want to love divinely. And so that's the way you would choose it. Okay? So I'm going to put it in the show notes. I hope to do or have someone come in to do an in-person cacao ceremony, because that would be amazing with like a sound bath. That's like something that we really need in this world, right? And if you're close to Beaverton, Ontario, which like me, I'm like, where the hell's Beaverton, Ontario, right? Like, again, you guys know I never heard of Beaverton. Now I live here. It'll be our two-year anniversary of us living in Beaverton. And I'm an Orangeville girl. So there's that. So I'm going to leave you guys with that with this episode. And I hope that you feel called to this beautiful cacao plant consciousness and that it will help you support you on your journey. And I also hope that you will stop putting things off and that you're going to say, you know what? I feel very called to spirit school. I'm going to go sign up. I'm going to do this. And this is my time to expand my gifts, to really own them. I'm going to learn how to be psychic. I'm going to learn how to be a medium. I'm going to learn how to help myself. I'm going to grow as a whole person. I want to help people. I want to serve spirit and be committed to that relationship with spirit and really get to know this other world. So I can't wait to see you guys all next week on the Second Medium podcast. And as always, in some in-person classes this summer, I hope to meet you in person because it is a totally different vibe. I taught a class of mediumship on Sunday, and there's like, my students were in the Zoom screens. It was like so amazing to see their energy in person and just like really see them shine. So I love what I do. I love you guys. I think you're amazing. And we'll see you all next time.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.